Hello, everyone. Hope you are well on a Saturday morning. I'm going to talk about severe weather, these monster mile-wide tornadoes that really did a lot of damage overnight, Friday night. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about a reminder. This is a reminder as far as just basic preparedness, and also a good tip as far as communicating and helping out somebody that is not prepared. We all know somebody that is not prepared at all. The unprepared, I call them, the normals, the normies. They have different names, but and this is just some simple things we can do, ways to help them, or maybe just give them a hint without coming across the head with "you got to be a prepper." Just some ways that we can help them. I'm going to talk about that a bit. Even a good gift idea. I'm going to show a good gift idea for them that might help them along, and just preparedness in general. I also have a very good verse I'm going to share with a little message from it that I think will help you or help a lot of folks. First, though, the storm. I woke up this morning and watching some footage of this thing. A mile-wide tornado tore through parts of Mississippi, Silver City, Rolling Fork, the rural areas of those towns. Some of the video I saw, I mean, it looked like a war zone, like just flattened. Even huge trees that were just cut down to nothing. Uh, I mean, it really did a lot of damage. It looks like death toll is at 21 plus, or at least 21. The last I looked, probably going to be higher than that. Thousands without power. So that is something that we have to, as a reminder, even if you're not in a direct path of one of these things, you could be affected with loss of power. And that loss of power, especially if you're in a rural area, you could be without power for days, even weeks. Now, those of you in hurricane areas, you know more than anybody, what that's like. So you have to keep a state of readiness, especially in these times of the year. And we are getting into spring, especially the tornadoes can get bad. It sounds like this one came out of the Midwest and really just hammered these parts of Mississippi. It looks like also the bad weather could affect parts of Tennessee, maybe Arkansas as well. So if you're in these areas, let us know if you saw, what it was, if you were okay, if you're able to. And, we'd like to hear from you that you're all right. Let's pray. Let's pray for the folks that are affected by this, especially these hard hit areas that experience this mile wide tornado. That is unreal. I can't imagine. I'm not sure how it'd be hard to prepare, not how to prepare for a direct hit from a mile wide tornado. I don't, however, most people, the most, a lot of areas are affected by a power outage. So this is a good reminder. Look at your preps. Are you prepared for a power, just a basic power outage? And if, especially if you're in a rural area, it could go, the power could be out for quite a while. So, and this is a good way to also broach the subject with people that we don't, we all know somebody who is an unprepared, I like to call it a normie, who is just not ready for things like this. It could be, and it's not just younger people, it could be somebody older too that just never has. And these are good ways to talk to them about it. And when I'm talking to somebody that, or they ask me a question about preparedness, I always start out with just basics, very basics, because this is how I started out being into preparedness. And it was from a natural disaster, a freak storm, that kind of woke me up years ago to think, well, I'm not prepared for this, so I need to do some things. So just even if it's just basic things like encouraging them to have some extra food stocked up, even just a little bit, water, food, just the very basics, some first aid. It doesn't take much to do that. To accumulate a little at a time won't bust a budget in most cases. All right. So I always start out with that, being prepared for severe weather or freak natural disaster thing, because it's hard to argue that those never happen. They happen all the time. So it's good just to have a little extra on hand, right? All right. So some other tips here, some other things, and as a reminder to us as preparedness people, for power outages, your water, your food, check your stocks. A lot of people talk about generators. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars if you don't have it. Most of us are on a budget, right? So even if it's a small generator that can power a couple of appliances or alternate between the refrigerator and the freezer, to keep that powered. Even if it's a smaller generator than that, that just powers your devices, your electronic devices, so you can keep up with what's going on outside. Personal protection, of course. Alternative fuel, propane, charcoal for grills if you want to do that, especially if it's a long-term power outage. Uh, Candles, batteries for your flashlights, oil lamps. So we have several oil lamps, and man, those come in handy in a situation like this. Good for camping too. Water filter, even if it's the small portable water filter like a mini Sawyer. By the way, this is an awesome little gift idea for somebody. If they're not prepared, or you're not even sure if they're into preparedness, this is a good one, especially if they do a lot of outdoor stuff, camping, or they even do it occasionally. They like to go on hikes to the park. This is good. This is a good gateway drug into preparedness. Okay. This is a mini water filtration system. Okay. The mini Sawyer. I don't have an affiliation to them. I just like these. I have several of them. Okay. Good suggestion there. But other things, also automobile. And this is not just, having your automobile prepared, not just in the winter when it's below zero, you know, negative, whatever, like it is with alpine preparedness. I mean, that's a another level of preparedness these guys, those Mr. and Mrs. Alpine Preparedness have to do up there. But, uh, but check your automobile, even for, here in Georgia, we have winter gear and summer preps in our cars, and it doesn't have to be a lot, you know. Just as an example, some of the things we keep in our vehicles, things that don't take up a lot of space. I always carry extra water, um, especially in the summer. Uh, when it's really hot, I keep a small cooler with water in it. Of course, in the work that I do, I'm out and about in the car a lot. So if I see somebody, especially if it's a homeless person, or I don't mind. I'll give out a water if it's when it's hot like this, or anytime, really, anytime. A little water, a little food, protein bars are good. They don't take up much space. A small knife, flashlight. Make sure they're working. Walking shoes or hiking boots, something that's water resistant, preferably water resistance or waterproof, in case you have to get out and hoof it on foot, right? Poncho. Ponchos are, they store they don't take up much space. Umbrella, small umbrella, even tire inflator. I don't have it to show right now, but I have a small tire inflator that I bought. I think I bought this one at Aldi for like 20 bucks a few years ago. And I've used that thing a lot. I mean, it's good just to keep if you have a flat tire or a slow leak in your tire, or a neighbor or family or friend, whatever. It's good. You can plug it up into the power point in your car. It powers by that, and it's got a long cord where you can inflate. It's very easy. You can inflate the tire and keep it, and just get it enough to where you can get another tire, get it repaired. Used that thing several times. It has really saved a lot of time for us and a couple of neighbors. So we always keep gloves, hat, blankets in the vehicles. Some people, depending on where you live, you may want to beef that up, or alter that a bit, depending on the region where you live. Share what you do. That could give other people tips as well. Just those are just some of the things we keep mostly what we keep in our vehicles year round, really year round. So hope that helps. I have a good verse I'm going to share here. So this is from Proverbs, and I forget about how Proverbs sometimes just has a lot of good life lessons, a lot of good little life advice in it. And this is from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 9 says, with his mouth, the godless man would destroy his neighbor, but by knowledge, the righteous are delivered. Now, that's some good just life advice there coming from God breathed Bible. And I think it's a good reminder that, the people, whether you're at work, whether you are just in life in general, uh, try to stay away from the negative Nancy's, the people who are just very negative, um, have that bad energy, just evil, meanness, people who are moaning and complaining all the time, especially in a work situation. Keep away from those. The folk, the ones that are complaining all the time, trying to gossip and get people in trouble. Distance yourself as best as you can from those people. Hang around the people, the high achievers. Hang around the people who are positive, who are uplifting, who are willing to help you and be a source of support for you. Hang around them, and that will help you. And it looks better when the bosses are looking. So who knows? Your boss may be one of those negative people. That's a tough situation, but usually it's the other workers who are that, and even not in a non-work situation. Try to avoid the ones who are just bringing everything down, who do not have your best interests at heart. So hope that helped. Share your thoughts on that. Let's stay safe out there. Let's stay aware this weekend, but do the things and live your life. God bless you. I'll see you soon.